Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to show you how to make this Delicate Pines Christmas card. I just really love the simplicity of all of this and the little kind of muted colours against the red. So this gorgeous embossing folder is actually this big square one here, and this is called a Wreath. I think it's the Wreath embossing folder. It's here on page 22 of the mini catalogue, traditional Wreath embossing folder. 3D embossing folder, which is just gorgeous. So you can do big square cards, or you can partially emboss this size card. I'm using Delicate Pines. It's an online exclusive, but it's really pretty. So the snowflakes are using pine leaves, and there's matching dies, and I just really loved these as well. You get loads in there. This really big one as well, which is here, so this isn't actually to scale. But lots of little bits, little berries, furs, really pretty. So that's what we're using. And as always, I'll put the details to all of the products down in the description bar below, so that if you want to order anything from me, you can click on that description and it take you straight to my online shop. Or if you're local to me, you can send me an order and I'll place it for you if you can collect. Okay, the other thing was just inside here, sending Christmas wishes. This is from Pine Tree Trimmings, which is also an online exclusive. Okay, so let me show you the supplies you need to make this. So you need a piece of, I've covered my notes. You need a piece of Real Red for the card base, and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4, and I've scored it down the middle here at 4 1/8. You need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. These measure 3 7/8 by 5 1/2, both of them. You need, let me see, a scrap of cloud cover cardstock for these little leaves. This piece here for the greeting measures 3 1/2 inches by 1/2 inch. And you need a scrap of white for the snowflake, and I'll show you we're going to use this scrap to cut this big snowflake. Oh, and this gorgeous ribbon is from here, sheer ribbon, Balmy blue. I think it's online exclusive as well, but how pretty is that? And it was just gorgeous with this. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, we're just going to stamp the inside. So using, Balmy blue ink, and just tap and pop that on there. So let's just close that a sec. We can pop that inside just with some liquid glue. And again, you can use, Merry Christmas, whatever you have at home for this bit, or leave it blank. You don't have to pop anything in there at all. Okay, so that's quite cute. Just ties in with the Balmy blue on the outside then. So we're going to cut some leaves out of here. Okay, so that's using this one. I'm using the largest, what's it called? Stylish Shape circle die to cut out that piece. I'll show you in a minute. I'll give you a tip how to line it up. And these are the snowflakes. So let's stamp actually, I need a little scrap from there to stamp the snowflakes. So let me show you how to do that bit first. So let's find our piece of white. So what we're looking to do is use this large Stylish Shape die, and I did it so that if you have it pretty much central top to bottom, and then from the inside of the die I measured 2 1/4 inches. I'm going to come over a little bit, about there. So you can see I line up here 2 1/2 inches to this kind of center here. So I'm going to cut that out. We are going to use that center bit to cut out the other snowflakes. So let's just cut this, stamp this little one, which is in Smoky Slate, but I've stamped off first on both of these snowflakes just to make them a bit more delicate in color. I'm just going to bring in a scrap because I want to use my grid to film. So here we go. This is the smaller one. I'm going to stamp off first in Smoky Slate and then stamp again. So you get a really nice light image. And then, can I do that at the same time? Possibly. Let's try. You can obviously just use a scrap, but I'm just being really thrifty here with my cardstock. So ink up, stamp off once, and now I'm going to stamp again in this little gap. I could cut it first, but okay, not happy with that. I'm just going to stamp separately. So stamp off, and then stamp again. It's very pale, and that's all I wanted, but you could obviously use the full-on colour if you wanted to. So don't worry about this. This is going to disappear anyway. So let me cut all of these bits out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut all these bits out, and then the other thing you just need to do is then emboss this cutout layer, and I'm just going to line it up inside here with as much of the wreath as I can get on there. Okay, so you can see I've got it covering most of that area, so I'm just going to pop that through and I'll be right back. Okay, how pretty is that? It's so gorgeous. Right, so I popped that on the card. Oh, actually we're not doing that yet. We're going to cut some ribbon. We have 2 lots of ribbon here. So this one was on the clearance rack. I think it may have gone now, but I just still had some in my stash. But you could use some twine or whatever you have to go down there. Or again, another piece of this actually would be just great. So I'm going to cut 4 inches of this one. And what did I say of the other one? Was it 10 or 8? Oh, 10. Okay. So again, this one will fray. So once you've cut it, try not to touch the ends. Okay. So here we have the snowflake. We're going to layer this one on top with a little dimensional in the middle. So just behind this centerpiece here. And with these snowflakes, with the bigger ones, you can layer a layer. It looks lovely. So this one's just going to go in between the stamped images of the other one. And then, let's see here. What we want to do is line this up so it kind of falls in the middle or hangs in the middle. Looks like it's hanging. So we want to place this ribbon, the silver ribbon, so that it looks like it's hanging from that. So I'm going to grab my glue dots, and it should be, you know, centrally kind of where top to bottom here, pretty much. So I'm going to pop a glue dot there and attach the ribbon to the back, and then just check that that's where I want it to be, being careful not to stick it down. I need to go across slightly. See what I mean? It's where you think it should be, but actually it's over a little bit. So just have a little practice. The beauty with glue dots is you can move them over. There's probably a much simpler way to do this. That's better. And then I'm going to pull that taut on the back and just have it straight down like this. You could of course just put a bit of tape, tear and tape over if you'd rather. Okay, let me just check that looks straight. I think I've gone wandering a bit. You can take your time to get it where you want it to be. Okay, that looks better. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop some dimensionals on the back of this layer because I just want to pick it all up. And you will need to use quite a few, and you need to get it by the edges here to prop this little circle up. So right by these edges on the end especially. This is why on my last project, or you might be watching in a different order for this month, but I didn't use too many dimensionals because I knew this one would be quite a lot. Okay, so there we go. So let's take all of these backings off. All of them, I think so. Right, so you want to line it up without sticking it down. I do it on the 3 edges, but especially on this edge over this side, just to see that you've got it pretty even. Can't really see without getting my head in, but I'm going to go there. I'm happy with that. And then with this, we're going to pop that on as well with a couple of dimensionals. Actually, let's use 3. just to even that out. Ooh, as well, to give it the illusion of hanging. So I'm going to take my tall piece there and pop it in the middle of that ribbon. How cute is that? Cute on its own even. Okay, so I've got my piece of ribbon here, and because it's sheer ribbon, when I put a glue dot in the middle, it'll go straight through and stick in place anyway. So I want it to go about there. I'm going to pop my glue dot there, and like I say, it will stick both layers then because it's so sheer. You can always have it a bit more of a loop if you'd rather, but I'm quite happy with that. And then with this little one, I've kept it whole. Oops. I'm just going to pop some glue now. It doesn't go on these bits, so on these ones here, on this side, because the other ones don't stick down. We don't want to get in a sticky mess. So hold those down. And then with the greeting, I've stamped Celebrate the Season, which is in the set. Just thought I wanted something quite long across there, just to break up the kind of two leaves. So it stamps really nicely as well. So just in the middle of this one. It's really delicate. I love that one. Okay, and then all I did was to flag end, yeah, the end. So you just cut a little bit in the center up slightly, and then come in from corner to that center piece, and again on this side. And because our snips are really sharp, although sadly we're not selling them anymore because the manufacturers stopped making them, but if you do have some, then they'll be your friend. So again, do the same at this end, a little cut up, and then come in from either side. My hands are really shaky. Maybe I need another coffee. There we go. So that's a really cute way to do a banner. Let's see, I popped that on dimensionals. I think I actually just cut, so along the edge of your dimensionals, you will have a little strip here. So I think I just put that along because, you know, it's just an outside strip. It's good to use it up. This other one we're cutting and we're just tucking under, so it's why I'm not putting it on yet, because I want to see where this goes. Okay, so I don't want to hide the snowflake. So I'm going to go about there, a bit of a diagonal. And then with this one, it was too long, so I'm just going to cut that bottom piece off. So those 3 leaves, I mean, you could use that for something else as well. And then I'm just going to tuck this under in a second. So let's pop glue. You could use glue dots if you'd rather. On here. So pretty. Like that. And finally, we're going to use some rhinestone. These are a must to have in your stash at home because they will be good for so many cards. So I'm just going to pop a couple up here as well, these little ones, and one on here. So there you have it, my, oops, that's for my ribbon, my Delicate Pines Christmas card. I hope you've enjoyed making that. Take care, see you soon, bye.